You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shemaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shemaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I Am Refocused Radio. We are here once again. And today we have someone who is not a stranger to I Am Refocused Radio, Chelsey Youman. She represents the organization Human Coalition. You can go humancoalition.org. And she's going to talk to us today about something that recently happened on December 8th. And without further ado, I just want to let her have the floor and let her kind of talk about what was going on December 8th.
Hi, well, thank you so much for having me on the show today. Yes, I'm a Texas State Director for Human Coalition Action, which means I work on policies and legislative measures that hopefully will be passed and protect life. We also advocate for women and the fact that we know women need to keep their children, right, and choose life ultimately, but sometimes need help along the way. And so those are all of the issues I'm passionate about with our politicians and our governing entities. And on Tuesday, the Texas State Affairs Committee for the Senate had a hearing on just how to do that. How should we protect life in the state of Texas for next session? I was very grateful to be a part of that and had lots of recommendations for them.
And you made some statements, like you just said. Texas has been doing this for a while. They have been making investments to make sure that women have these kind of services. When it comes to the community programs that are available in the state of Texas, what are the key takeaways that you're hoping was brought across to them?
Yes. So our primary bill, really focuses on two things: making sure that women are aware resources are available to them already, that our state, both public and private resources, are out there and available. And then the second part would be helping connect them with those resources. A lot of women, when they face an unexpected pregnancy, they're overwhelmed. They might not know how to fill out all the applications, and it's very stressful. And just to have a support system come alongside them has been a proven way to help enable women to choose life and decrease abortion rates. Just by coming alongside them and connecting them, saying, this is how you sign up for insurance. Let's help you through that process. Let's help you with your resume. Or even something as simple as finding safe and affordable housing for them, and making sure that they're going to be in a safe environment at home. I mean, those are all really just tangible needs that every human needs. But when a woman is facing an unexpected pregnancy, if she's not having those basic needs met, she most likely considers abortion. And so we think by alleviating that and coming alongside her and saying, before every woman in the state obtains an abortion, if they were just to have that connection point, someone to come alongside them and make sure they're safe and fed and cared for with resources that are already available, that would be probably the best way to decrease the abortion rate in our state. And so by having the state put their stamp on that and, pass a program that is an outreach program to women seeking abortion, that's the best way to decrease abortion in our state.
You also mentioned this also helps women not just have resources, but it gives them opportunity to save nearly 17,000+ preborn children, possibly in the next year.
Yes, absolutely. So that number is based on Human Coalition is a network of our clinics that serves women day in and day out. Again, women who've decided they want an abortion, and then we come alongside them after that decision point and help them. So it's really a niche group of women, a group population who's already decided. And when we come alongside them, over 30% ultimately choose life and change their minds. And so when you apply that to abortion rates in Texas, that's very, very significant. We're talking about saving over 17,000 Texan children every year. That's 750 school classrooms of children every year.
And having the opportunity to talk to Texas State Senate Affairs Committee, that's a big deal. And what do you think has been the response so far as you have tried to illustrate the unique opportunity Texas has to lead in giving women resources, educating them, and hopefully saving preborn children?
Yes, well, I love that question because it does highlight, just how passionate these members are that we've elected, our elected officials are at protecting life, because they voluntarily hosted this committee hearing. They picked the topic. They came with questions and ideas for legislation that we would support all of it. It would all be life-saving measures. So these are really pro-life, strong, conservative people who are governing us that we have elected and put into that office. And so I'm really proud of them. Session hasn't even started yet. Session starts in January, but this committee was already thinking of ways to protect lives in Texas and women ahead of time. And so I think that there should be a great response. They were very positive to me and the colleagues who testified before and after me. So I think they're very serious about next session, what they can do to pass more bills and protect lives.
You also told them, quote, by working to alleviate the perceived need women have for abortion, we can serve both women and their children, enabling families to flourish. Let's tell the audience a little bit what you mean by that.
Sure. Well, I think a lot of times when we're talking about abortion in the public realm, regardless of what side somebody's on, they often separate the mother from the child and talk about it on its own terms. But the truth is, we believe, every single woman seeking an abortion can be reached, and she can be talked to and aided and assisted if our communities would come around her, if churches would come around her. She would feel empowered. And I say that because 75% of our clients say they would prefer to parent as opposed to having an abortion. They just don't see how they can. And so I think that it's really important to continue to connect mothers with their children and say, you can do this. You are capable of doing this. We can help you out along the way where you see the sticking points. And that's really effective when women start to see hope for their situations. They ultimately choose life.
And once again, we're talking to Chelsey Youman and the organization that she's a part of, Human Coalition. Go humancoalition.org. Once again, that's humancoalition.org. And you've been listening to I'm Refocused Radio. We've been having her on a few times, so she's not a stranger to the show. So I want to give you the floor and say, how can people get involved in what you're doing, and how can they support the organization?
Absolutely. Well, we're a nonprofit, and so we do all of this based on donations. If you could go to hucoaction.org, HUCO action.org, and donate, that would be a huge way to support. And then if you sign up for our listserv next session, when our bill is moving forward and other pro-life bills are moving forward, we can keep you in the loop, let you know if we want you to write a letter and email to your elected official, or vote, reminding you when to vote when the time comes. All of those things are so important to making sure that we protect pro-life bills and make them pass ultimately. So go to hucoaction.org and you can do all of those things.
And one last question before I let you go. I sometimes put my guests on the hot seat, so here you go. For someone who is listening to this and they're on the fence and they don't know, if they want to believe this or what they want to believe, what would you tell that person to help bring clarity of why this is important? Yes, I think especially if you're a Christian, you believe that God created us in God's image, and we are made in the image of God, and He created each person with dignity and a purpose, that every day is counted and has a purpose. Every hair on our head is counted. The Bible goes on and on about us being fearfully and wonderfully made. And every creation, even in the womb, is His creation. And even biologists who are secular and pro-choice biologists, 99% agree that life begins at conception. And so if you acknowledge, even in the scientific world, based on medicine, that life begins at conception, and we believe as Christians that life has inherent dignity and value because it's a human life, then to end that life is ultimately a tragedy. And so that's where I really begin on the pro-life side, knowing that it's a separate life from the woman, that the woman, it's not
her body. It's a separate entity inside of her body. And from there, understanding really why women choose abortion, ultimately they're asking for help in a lot of ways. And so women don't often feel like it is actually a choice. They feel pressured a lot of times by their own family to have an abortion. They don't feel like they have a lot of autonomy in that decision. And so when you really begin to look under the surface here, it's a really dark, sad option for women, and one that we hope they don't have to make.
Once again, we're talking to Chelsey Youman, Human Coalition Action Texas State Director. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to I Am Refocused Radio today. And what would you like to say to our audience before we let you go?
I would just like to thank everybody for listening and thinking about this important issue. If you want to learn more, go to hucoaction.org, hucoaction.org.
Like we say on every single show, keep God first, stay focused, and peace.